Having the internet in our home has had a great impact on our lives. Rich keeps up with the stock market and our investments, and I'm able to pay the bills in half the
time it used to take me, and the kids are improving in their grades and communication skills, which makes me
Recently, I have been scouring all across YouTube in search for videos of games to play and for things to watch. YouTube itself is a huge field of content, as you will most probably be aware and know already, with an even bigger field of genres to experience and engage in, with topics ranging from gaming, lifestyle content, exploration, and more obscure media. Across YouTube, you will find your fair share of horror-related content as well, in regards to short films, analog horror series, and puzzles. A number of these puzzles are known as an ARG. To clue you in, an ARG, or alternate reality game, is a type of storytelling method. ARGs can be both created to be in reality or as a virtual environment that involves players and viewers to work together solving the puzzles laid out in attempts to forward the story of the ARG. Lots of ARGs have been documented, dissected and explained thoroughly across YouTube, but that's when I came across a channel known as Nathaniel Hess, which appears to be a seemingly lesser known channel with just 5 videos and a subscriber count of 1.98k as of recording. So before we begin our deep dive, there is one question most likely on your mind, and I'm here today to answer that for you. Who is Nathaniel Hess? Not much is known about this channel other than the fact that there is 5 short videos in its library. The content found on this channel is pretty perplexing from my own viewing, and the motive behind it is right now currently unclear. Each of the videos range between under 40 seconds and up to 2 minutes in length. The contents of the video differ between each of the 5 on the channel. The first video that can be found on the channel is known as 0.mp4, and this is its contents. It seems to be what looks like some sort of gameplay or some sort of 3D generated environment that takes place in a dense forest or wooded area. And at 14 seconds in the video, the screen turns red as the audio seems to crash, causing the video to speed up. When slowed down and analysed frame by frame, it shows what seems to be a sort of room or walkway, but with no clear correlation to what it could be referencing. The glitch ends after 2 seconds, resuming the walk through the wooded forest. I want to mention the sound design for the video too. Whilst I cannot tell if this is some kind of message or just eerie background audio placed in the video, it is indiscernible to me on what it could be. It does not sound like Morse code, nor does it sound like anything cryptic, but without anything else to discuss, let's carry on. As the player, or whatever it is going through this forest, gets closer to the small building, 22 seconds in, they seem to enter some nightmarish setting with a lot of darkness and some almost metallic sounding noises, and then resuming this constant synthy pulsing sound. As the video continues, it slowly approaches what seems to be an underground section held up by metal pillars or rebar, with a giant hole in the middle of the ceiling. This hole causing a light to flood this desolate dark space, until a noise is heard from behind. The camera pans around to show nothing, as the video then ends. Now, I will be brutally honest and say I have no idea what it is this is meant to represent and mean, but it is cryptic and both intriguing nonetheless. But without any more detail to discuss, we move on to the second video, titled 4.5.mp4. It is incredibly hard to make out what is taking place in this video, with the first few seconds being a pink background with movement in the background itself. I once again cannot work out what it is that's moving, but straight after, it pans to a snow-covered scenery of a house in a forest, before the video then turns into a fragmented and fractured mess, with something grey moving alongside it, finishing up with a low-quality fireworks display. But did you catch the ending? You may not have heard it, but I'll play it again for you. What seems to be computerized beeping of what could be a fragment of a code or anything. It could just be some sound effects, but for something to be so out of place on an empty black screen seems way too coincidental for it to just be nothing. I shall leave it to you and with those smarter than I to figure out in the comments. Next video on the list is 6.mp4. The third video is a little more obscure, and with less correlation and links to what it could actually be representing, with footage of what seems to be a person's arm, before stretching into something unintelligible, followed with a view of a city from an aeroplane with a bright orange glow emanating in the distance, then cutting to nothing but trees and static, and then this. Whatever this is anyone's best guess, but from my interpretation it looks to be a figure or an unknown creature or entity standing in a doorway, before seemingly cutting back to the city view. It can be noted in this video, it shows someone recording a CCTV camera, continuously zooming in onto it. Maybe there is some correlation and linkage with this to some of the later videos or past videos, but as with all the other videos before it, it is still really hard to tell what any of this could actually entail and mean. Ending the video of a still image of the Eltz Castle in Germany. Now, we are just over halfway through the videos, and there's still no direct correlation between the videos from what I've been able to decipher. But I want to take a moment to look at Nathaniel Hess as a person, and not the channel. There isn't very much to go off on, other than the fact that he owns the channel and is making these videos. In his bio, there is nothing other than just a link to a SoundCloud, which features some of the songs and music used in the videos, along with some other more confusing and interesting pieces. I'll play a few samples now for you to experience. So whilst those two are obscure and almost ominous in a way, not all of the songs are like this. In all genuine seriousness, Nathaniel, or Rat Bomb as his SoundCloud is named, makes some really good stuff. My personal favourites are Car, (2004) Shion XP, and Derive. This ARG could genuinely be a way for him to promote his music, in which some ARGs in the past have done this as a genuine reason to promote something, to promote or bring recognition to one's work, and that's a totally valid reason. This person has some genuine talent in music, but for now, let's get back to the ARG. Whilst these videos are very obscure, 8.mp4 physically made me feel something inside. This video felt very serene, almost calming, looking at the nature of the world, the outdoors, the trees, the views. Whilst this ARG is very perplexing itself, this video feels like an art project. Before we see this, with arms reaching over and computer-like audio playing over it, it feels very surreal and a huge jump away from the tranquility we just saw. It kind of looks almost like a hospital operating room. So I have an actual theory for what this episode could be a reference to. Before I go into this, please take it with a grain of salt. It is just a theory. not a game theory. I'm not mad, I just need to reiterate that. So yeah, this is just a theory. Take it with a grain of salt. This is just my interpretation of what this video could be meaning. As the video jumps in between the calm music and the peaceful serenity of the surroundings, it feels almost dreamlike. Almost like a memory or something in the past. Like nostalgia. Before jumping to the dark view of a ceiling and arms passing over you. This video could literally be a look into what people feel or see when having surgery, or something related to a topic like that. The jumping from light to dark could simulate the differences of what's going on in your mind versus the reality of what's happening currently. As you go for surgery, you are under anesthesia and you are unconscious, which could allow for dreaming to take place, hence why it's very peaceful and tranquil. Before jumping to the hospital room where you are under surgery. Now it looks dark in the room, but if we think about it like this, when you are having surgery, you are indeed unconscious, your eyes will be closed. That could be the reasoning for why it's so dark in the room, even though a surgery room would never ever be this dark. It's just a little theory that I came up with when looking into this and putting pieces together. Tell me in the comments what your ideas and theories may be, but without further ado, let's jump to the last video as of recording this. 3.mp4. So now we are reaching realms of possible analog horror, with cuts to dark environments that are all but unsettling, to say the least. If you watch closely, in the video there is movement among the darkness. It's like we are being watched and recorded, then seeing it through the eyes of those doing this. It's severely unnerving, and happens on 3 separate occasions. The first time, taken from outside of a home, where the cameraman zooms in on what seems to be a house, which we then see the inside of. The second time from what seems to be a spot in the darkness, where you see the arm of a person moving off screen, not noticing the danger lurking no more than 2 meters in front of him. And the third time, in the same spot as the second, but the man moving is nowhere to be seen. It is unclear if anything happened to this man, but for now as always, we still just don't know the truth. And that wraps up what seems to be all the videos on the Nathaniel Hess YouTube channel. 5 very unclear and perplexing videos with no seemingly connected link behind them. But before this video ends, I want to mention something I noticed. On the Rap Bomb SoundCloud, there is 2 songs titled 1 and 2, which have not been used in any of the videos we've seen so far, but they are in the exact same style of music and genre as the ones used in the previous videos on the channel. As well as the videos 0.mp4 and 8.mp4 not being on the track list of Nathaniel's SoundCloud profile. Maybe they were forgotten to be put up, or maybe there's a reasoning behind it. But it is all one big mystery in an even bigger mystery that is Nathaniel Hess. I look forward greatly to what may come next for this YouTube channel, and I hope that Nathaniel's work gets recognised for what it is, because it is truly a special piece of media. But with no more left to talk about, I thank you all for watching and sticking around. All links will be in the description for Nathaniel Hess's work, plus his SoundCloud. And I wish you all good night.